good morning. I am your host. My name is Sandy, and over here we have Nick, our music teacher at Wagor International School of Excellence. Hi Nick, how are you?
Hi Sandy, thanks for having me today.
Well, Nick, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
If that is okay?
Sure.
Can you describe your approach to teaching music, and how do you balance theory and practice in your classes?
Well, I teach music mostly as a language. I believe music is another language, and maybe as the students get older, I teach music more as culture. Music to me is just my whole cultural background and how I grew up. And balancing theory and practice, I believe in lots of practice and maybe theory later.
As a teacher, what musical instrument would you advise against learning, and why?
Oh, that's rough. I have to say none, but what I do suggest is not to force any instrument on a child. If they're like, I want you to learn piano, if they're like, okay, then that's fine, that's not forcing. But if they're like, no, absolutely not, I want to learn drums, and then you make them play piano, yeah, I would probably suggest against that.
Okay. What connections do you see between music and other forms of art, such as visual art or literature?
The connections, I guess in terms of appreciating it, it's always the more you know. The more, we can always appreciate, if you can read it, you can read a story, you can appreciate it on its own. If you can listen to music or see a piece of art and go, oh yeah, that's nice. Obviously, the more you would know about it, then you could get more out of it. So I think in terms of the arts, if you want that joy or that, you have to kind of invest in it. You have to invest in learning or reading more, and then the more you read, the more you're going to appreciate those books. The more you know about music, the more you're going to appreciate it.
Oh, that's interesting. How do you inspire a love for music in students who may initially not be interested or be very confident in their musical abilities?
That's a good question, Sandy, but I don't really worry about that as much as I try to just be my true self for my students and be honest with my students instead of worrying about how to inspire them, and then I hope in that way they can be inspired to learn. So I'm not worried about inspiring people, I'm just worrying about being giving and being myself.
All right, Nick, if you had like a magic wand to solve one classroom problem instantly, what would it be?
One, I guess I would try to solve apathy towards their learning, apathy towards their education. I would really solve that and make sure people just care about their own. Yeah, that's that. I always feel sad when I see that, so I'd love to solve that.
If you had such a magic wand, would you lend it to the rest of us?
Of course, absolutely.
As a teacher, what kind of unique challenges have you encountered teaching in Taiwan? Especially here in an international school setting.
Here, I don't have a lot of complaints. This is really a dream job for me. But I would maybe now I would like to find a way for especially high school students, if they want to keep taking music classes or more than 1 year. I hope that's a challenge. I think we should be able to provide that opportunity for the older students.
What do you think is the most important invention in the musical world?
Oh, that's easy, recording. I would love to hear Bach. I would love to hear how Bach played. I would love to hear those Austrian symphonies playing Mozart's music. Lucky for me, the music that I grew up with is mostly recorded, so it's very easy for me to teach. We can go back to those resources and listen to the music, because jazz and recorded music kind of grew together. So definitely recording.
Oh wow, I would never have thought of that. What do you enjoy most about teaching here at the school?
Oh, the kids.
The kids.
The students.
Okay.
Yeah, kids. It's difficult, but it's good for the soul. Healing for the soul for me.
Has the school been able to provide you with an environment or support system to help you with your teaching?
Well, that's what I mean when I say this is my dream job. It's I couldn't ask for a better opportunity. I grew up in public schools in Michigan and the United States, and I even went to a very good public school system, and you know, funding and instruments was always on the low side, and now I could basically not whatever I want, but what I think is right for the kids. The school has my back every step of the way. So, yeah, no complaints there.
Nice. If your classroom had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Oh, that's so hard. I like this song called "For the Love of the Game" by DJ Jazzy Jeff. Basically, it's like, love what you do and do what you love.
Okay, so why would you pick this for your class?
Well, hopefully when they come into the classroom, that's the vibe that I want them to have. Creativity, play. Yeah.
Okay, tell me, how has the use of AI and digital tools transformed the way music is taught or composed or performed or experienced for you?
For me, as a composer, I did delve into using AI to write a song. It was scary, not scary, but like, whoa, it's like I could totally see how automated composing can start to be a thing, but I think I'm pretty against that. I don't know, I like a lot of people with their feelings with AI, it's not totally set yet, but I think as an artist and as an actual composer, yeah, I don't think I would like the automation. I mean, if you use it, fine, but I think it's really cheapens the art. On the positive side, I love the AI like algorithm of choosing music for you. I love that. I mean, for me as a am I a Gen Xer? I'm 49. So as a Gen Xer, like I know, like buying CDs and tapes and now having access to every recorded piece of music. I love this aspect of the AI. So it's, yeah, I don't know. Teaching, I think it's good. I haven't explored a lot of tools, but I've started to look into that, and I think that would be seriously helpful. And performing, I think there's lots of great things that AI is doing in terms of live performances. Just some of the things like composing, and then look, if you're an actor and then somebody can just AI your face and use your, I mean, there's a lot of, this is the area where artists can maybe get, we might get screwed over, I guess. Again, we already get that a lot as artists. But anyway, yes, that's my thing on AI.
Yeah. Music can be a very personal subject. How do you engage students with varying levels of interest and talent?
That's a great question, Sandy. I guess I have to invest the time in getting to know all my students. I must. If I don't, like you say, if someone is so shy about music or can't even talk, I've had students that barely speak a word. How am I ever going to ask them to sing? So I have to put in the time to get to, it might take time until I get something back, but I do just have to invest in that, which is, again, lucky I'm in at WISE, the student body is quite small, and I do have that luxury to be able to get to know each and every one of my students.
So can you give me some examples of some strategies that have been successful in getting the kids more excited about learning music?
Well, one thing I've noticed well, one thing I've kind of let go is, let go meaning like if I let the students maybe pick something that they want to learn, like
Right.
especially in terms of repertoire, songs, of course it has to fall into my criteria or what we're learning at that time. But if they can pick their own song, they love that. Another thing that has worked as a jazz musician, the art in jazz is the art of improvisation.
Right.
And surprisingly, if you tell the kids that they can do what they want, of course, again, within parameters and rules, but they can do whatever they want, which is what improvisation is. They kind of let themselves go and they're like, really? I can just, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And so I think this is another way I've gotten kids to open up.
Oh, very interesting. And it's nice to hear that when they're given a choice, they actually do better. They want to try it more.
Absolutely.
Have you ever had a student try to avoid performance? And what is the most creative way they've used to try to avoid this?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I have 2 high school classes, and a large part of their grade would be a performance because it's a performance-based class. And yes, I've had kids like turn the volume way down after I set the whole thing up, and then I'm like, why don't I hear that string part or that piano part? And then they just turned it down, and it's smart because we're performing in front of the school, and it's not the right time for me to go there. So I mean, yeah, that's probably the most creative. Like they're sitting there and doing it, but they turned it way down. But I'm like, hello, I have ears, I can hear that part is not there.
Okay, as a final question to you, what advice would you give to aspiring music students who would like to study this in the future?
Oh, go for it. Right now, the arts and let's say the music industry, it's not an easy path.
Yes.
It's a very difficult path. But if that truly is your passion, if a student really, if that's their passion, I have to tell them to just go for it. But I guess my caveat and what I tell my other, especially older students, university students, I would also tell them to make sure they can make money some other way, or that they don't have this pride. I mean, I've known some great musicians, and then, sometimes musicians can be prideful, and I've had friends where, they look down on, let's say, playing in Broadway. That's not art. But don't do that. If that's how you're gonna make money by playing Broadway shows so you can pay your rent, please do that. Or anything else. I was just using that as an example. So 1, go for it, and 2, make sure you can make money another way. And I don't think that's selling out. I don't think that's discounting or making less of you as an artist. But yeah, go for it and make sure you can and are willing to do something else to survive.
So a bit of a combining passion with practicality, right?
Most definitely. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Nick, for sharing all these insights with us.
My pleasure.
Thank you for the interview.
My pleasure. Thanks, Sandy. I appreciate it.